So another thing that I was thinking about, and I can't remember what it was that got me going on it, but uh, these so many of these kids who have gone to college, graduated, and with these strange degrees, no jobs. So many of them can't even get on their own 2 feet. It is just this whole system, how they developed it to go in that direction. It was all on purpose, because before, when we could be independent, you think about what this place was like. you know um, there would be somebody who could make our shoes. There would have been somebody who could make our clothes. There would have been somebody who could make our blankets. There would have been somebody who could frame our homes, uh, could finish our homes, could make cabinetry, could make furniture. People who, I mean, there was neighborhood doctors who would go to people's homes when they were sick. There were communities that would go out and help build somebody a barn, that would do everything. All of this stuff, that we were very independent in how we worked. Even before there started being more of, I guess I would call them settlers, people who started going out from the cities and going out and trying to make it out in the wild. you know, those people, all of the stuff that they did and how hard they worked. And I find it really impressive. But even before them, when people were more in just tribes, however their tribe developed, there was definitely nomadic ones. There was definitely ones that were stationary. There's definitely ones that live in huts. There was ones that live in all different types of housing, which I think it's going to go back to that kind of way of being, because it's more of our natural way of being. All of the things since has all been them trying to structure us into their created society so that they could control us, because they couldn't control. I mean, look at all the money that they've made off of us. Look at how many people in businesses that, were independent businesses who ended up selling out to corporate, and corporate has taken over. So a business can't make it anymore. It all, in the beginning ones, they were also part of the problem. They wanted to get rich quick. They thought that would be more important without looking at the bigger picture. What happens when, 10 people own everything, and they are the ones deciding how we get money, when we get money, how to spend money, what we're going to spend it on, and the price of everything. We got we got ourselves in a conundrum. I think it would be a conundrum. I don't know, but I like that word. So, anyways, we've got a situation for sure. And with all of the people who, there was a lot of people who sold themselves out and selling out to the system. So that's why we can't just blame it on the controllers, because there was people who played along with them. The stuff couldn't happen. But that's where I also get that, like, you have to get tuned into your internal, because there's a lot of stuff that people would know the outcome or know what's wrong if they were more tuned into their internal guidance. But a lot of people don't. I was in the rat race too, so I'm not condemning anybody. You get cut off from what is your internal dialogue of what you need to be listening to, because it keeps you in a better place, feeling better about yourself when you're more tuned into it. So, but back then, when people could, the people were more independent, and people developed skills, and people would go and learn skills, and people would structure their communities. Like, you wouldn't have like in a certain size community, you wouldn't have like 5 shoemakers and no blanket maker. You know what I mean? It would start to be like, oh, well, I make this and I make that, and you need all of these things. We don't need 5 shoemakers, you know, so, you know, the shoemakers, well, I mean, nowadays we have the internet, we have so many other ways to expand your businesses. But back then it would have been a lot more limited and people had to survive. And so they would have developed their skills around the needs of others too. But then, you know, you always have that opportunity to go and learn from these skilled people. And a lot of people, it would just be a family thing. Like if your dad was I'll stay with the shoemaker. I was picturing the one that does the horseshoe things, but if your dad was, then you would be, and that's just your family business. And a lot of people's names even matched their businesses. But you always had a livelihood. You always had a way that you were going to be able to feed your family. And then the way that they started doing that, then they started taking those skills away. Well, people were giving them away, like, oh, well, you know, we've made shoes forever. Let's just, you know, we'll sell out to, you know, Dansko or whatever, and then their shoes owned by them, but their shoes are being made by slave labor in India, and you know the quality is not the same as. I mean, there's no quality the same in a shoe from a shoemaker to something that's made by machines in slave factories. So, and the stuff that they do to save money. If you were making the thing independently, you would use quality stuff. I mean, you wouldn't want that. You'd want to have the best shoes. You don't want them to go over there. You don't want them to go to the next town to get their shoes. You want to have the reputation. People took pride. They had integrity. They cared about their product because it had their name associated with it. So it's a completely different kind of energy behind that. And then once it's sold out, you know, and it's a corporate enslavement that is making our stuff, and they are setting the prices and stuff, and the quality is diminishing, all of those things are occurring, but also they're taking those skills away, and they're giving, like, the carrot that they're leading people with is like, oh, but you know, you can go to school over here. We'll charge you a little bit of money, but we'll teach you some really worthwhile stuff. And, you know, just come over here and pay. So we got this cool piece of paper. We'll give you this piece of paper, and it says, like, you completed what we asked you to do. It's fucking cool. It's brilliant. So just come on over and we'll get you one of those. Don't worry about, yeah, who wants to be a plumber? When you can be a, you know, gender identity studies major, you know. So they come up with this weird stuff to get people to leave, you know, don't focus on something that can give you skills or make you independent, or something that you could create livelihood off of. No, come over here, focus your time and money on this. We're going to give you this cool piece of paper. And if you can't do anything with that, that's on you. We've got further schooling we can do. It's like the government's a pyramid system. Swear to God, that is the same thing. If you go into any of those kind of, I went with somebody, and it was about doing. They're a construction person. It was about doing the houses. You get an old crappy house and then you fix it up and you sell it. But when you go and you listen to any of these people who have their plan, their book, their template that they're trying to sell, it's always the same. And that's exactly what they're doing. Well, there's another step up. If you haven't gotten there with this, another 10,000, there's another step up. We've got people there to help you, you know, and it's always that's what they do. It's their same system. That's what I mean. Like, even though we see them as being horrible and corrupt and controlling, there's people who are using the template to continue to fuck other people over, you know. So it is all of us that need to change. And, you know, along with the thing of getting people to just willingly walk out of actual skills for pieces of paper, the way that they've also got people to doubt their roles in life. And it's so crazy because, I mean, there's a reason why there's a male and a female. There's a reason why there has to be balance. There's a reason why they have to work together and all that. And they have to see what's good about one another and use those skills together to create something that's even better, because both people are using their best sides and putting them together. So it used to be that's how it was, Everyone had a role, and it was based on your born gender, I mean, there probably was tribes, yeah, I'm sure. Throughout time, there would have been a tribe where there was some little boy and he was, born a boy, but he wanted to be in with the women and be cooking and stuff. And I'm sure that there was times where, dads were made fun of for having that son, and moms were made fun of. And, I'm sure there's a lot of that, I mean, this is humans trying to start to understand not only themselves, but everyone else and what this whole system is. So, there's not to say that there is not problems ever with this structured role system, but it's the system, those things that come up are for people to grow, to learn from, to experience. So, but when you have, like, throughout history, when you had like tribes and stuff like that, like the men had their role, the women had their role, and it worked together for ages because they did that. Now the controllers, along with wanting to control all of our, our livelihood or piece of paper, now they even want to destroy that structure. They want to make it where we don't want to have two genders. We don't want that's crazy. Why, if you're born one, why should you take the duties of that one? That doesn't make any sense. You should be able to do whatever duties you want. Yeah, do whatever. Everybody has their own home, but that doesn't, I mean, everybody gets to figure that out for themselves. Everybody has their own stuff, but that is still part of the experience, is what each person can do. And if you want to keep taking that out of the thing, I mean, to me, I see clearly the problem with that. All I can say is, if you don't see the problem with that, you just need to take the time to step back and think about it. Look at it. Think about if everybody switched their gender. I mean, we would cease to exist. How long? By the time we all quit procreating, it would be the end. You gotta look past of what you're trying to do right here, right now. Besides the fact, to me, all of that stuff, this gender identity thing is all a part of that narrative of breaking down the family, breaking down those systems to cause. They love the division. I mean, look at all the division they can create. The generation, age, every single thing that is different about every single person. They're like, oh, put a pin on it. Oh, put a pin on it. Oh, look, everybody, we need to argue about this. It's like, no, we don't. That has nothing to do with my life whatsoever. Why do I need to argue about something that has nothing to do with my life? I'm going to focus on my life instead of focusing on what you want to tell me to focus on. So, but they do get so many people to focus on their created dramas, their created artificial, which all it does is create us all to argue their arguments and keep us distracted from what they're doing, because they're always doing corrupt shit all the time. If they get up in the morning, they're starting their day by doing something corrupt, and they'll end their day by doing something corrupt. That's their life. And they don't want us to be watching and paying attention. They want us to sit and argue over generational bullshit or just stupid shit. They don't care. Argue about these, argue about these, argue about every freaking thing. Argue if there is sickness, argue if there isn't sickness, argue if science is real, argue if science isn't real. The whole thing, science is that drives me so crazy is science is constantly changing. Science is not a definite, it is the learning of the variables. It's to watch all the variables, to see all of the different ways, and to get the same solution, the same outcome over and over and over and over. And these people are just like, they don't know what science is behind the science. All they got to do is say the words and say, oh, well, science says. It's like, show us the data. Stop telling us this shit. Start giving us the data. And I don't want to hear it from your little puppets that just come out and say whatever they're paid to say. These people are disgusting. So let the people who are trying to give us information, who are going in and looking into what you're doing, let us hear from them. That is who we want to hear from, not them. Not these controllers who want to keep telling us, in all their 3-letter organizations that back each other up. It's like, what the hell? Yeah, once you see through their system, it's so annoying. It's just so annoying how stupid they treat us. It's just, God, it makes me so mad. But, there's a whole agenda to this gender identity crisis that we have going. They have a huge thing, and the whole thing is so that the division of family and are taking away our abilities to procreate for ourselves. And they do it by division to get people to just constantly everybody's got to aim their gun on everybody else. It's your fault, it's your fault. Ah! I'm like, oh my God, people. So, but it is leading us all to get to the place we want to be. And, all we got to do is look back in history of how people were making it before this system came in and corrupted us. And we have all of those abilities, and we can get back to that. And we need to get back to that if we're going to survive. We have to break free from their system. You have to recognize what's going on here so you can break free from the system. And, that's how it's going to get done, is seeing what's real and what's not real, and what is manufactured and what's in narrative and the agendas and all of this fake world that they've created, all so that they can get rich and do weird stuff. They're weird, man. They do weird stuff, really weird. And it's all going to be coming out. Even though I have told my mom, like, she knows so much of this stuff, right? And I've told her so many things, and she's just always like, oh, I sure hope you're wrong about that. I'm like, Mom, you better prepare. I'm not wrong about this. This is real. Like, you're about to hear stuff that is so disturbing. Like, she couldn't even wrap her head around the dumbs at all. Like, she was like, no, there is not tunnels. Oh my gosh. Okay, that's just getting a little too out there for me. And now she's like, she gets that there's the dumb, she gets the prisoner, she gets the whole thing, but she's just always like, I hope you're wrong about this. Like, no, everybody's gonna find out. No, the people who have been running us are really sick. They're sick. Most people who know what they're doing can't even consider them human beings. We're very different from them. And, we're going to get this world back to what is real. And it is more wholesome. We aren't sicko people like, they are. And what they are trying to do to our society and tear us down to get us to be the super freaks they are. So anyways, just start questioning everything, start looking at things and just keep thinking, who makes my rules? Why is someone else making the rules of how I identify myself, how I decide what is good for me and what is bad for me? You start noticing that, it will open up a door. So anyways, have a great day. I'll talk to you later. Bye.